Why, hello everybody.
Hello, Bernice.
Hello, Clarice.
That's it. You know what I mean.
Bernice, Clarice, they're sisters.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Royce and
Spam.
Monday edition style. Yeah, we don't usually scope on Mondays.
We don't plan this.
Supplies. It's a big supplies.
Get it? Supplies.
Get it?
Because she's Asian.
That's right.
Supplies.
Donate. Okay, so we're gonna pull up.
Appreciate.
What?
Don't hate. Appreciate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Where's our comments? Here,
Comments and
okay,
reactions.
so now we see it.
What's up,
okay.
Danny? Rice and fava beans.
Cassie, what happened? That other scope blocked me. Really? Let me unblock you right now as Kama's talking.
But how is she in here? Oh
yeah, this is Rice and
go.
Spam.
That beard though. What's up, yo? What's up, that beard though? Okay.
That beard dough.
Refreshing. And the weather was nice tonight, like 71 degrees, cruising around Woodland Hills. Like, man. Yeah, so welcome, guys. This is one of those unplanned scopes. I was coming home from dinner. Happened to be driving through the neighborhood to go back to my house. She was online. She's like, hey, come on by. Come on down to Electric Avenue. So here I am in all my overgrowth.
Yeah, so Cassie is in the block list. Cassie, you just said a word. Yeah, that egg drop that I have on my egg drop list. It's no big deal. Just all you have to do is tell me, tweet me if you end up on a block list on accident. It is not on purpose unless you are a troll. I think I said P is a...
Pissed.
Oh, pissed.
What's up, Missy?
Maybe. So let me unblock her right now. Okay, you're free. Freedom!
Free at last. You're out of Facebook jail, okay? Free at last. Thank Joanne Almighty. She's free at last, okay? So what stuff besides... Wow! What stuff other than the Facebook jail were you guys talking about?
That was basically it, about why you get put in Facebook jail, what happens when you're in Facebook jail.
Oh, they take care of you.
No, they don't feed you well. They don't treat you well. You can't do jack squat. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's funny, because you can still see your Facebook profile. You can see the comments and everything in there. When you try to comment, it says, yeah, I don't think so. We're not going to allow you to post this, because you know why? You're an indigent.
What does that mean?
You can use Siri. Look it up.
Hey Siri.
Hey Siri. What does indigent mean?
I thought it was indignant.
As an adjective, it means poor, needy. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Good night, Kanan.
Good night. Yes.
Okay. I found something on the web for can I get 898?
So, poor and needy.
Take a look.
Joanne got lost in the weeds. Scroll back. Comments. What?
They separate you from your parents.
Ba-dum-bum.
Like homeless, I think. So what was that address? Oh, that Periscope was Go Rice Girl. So you actually... What happens when you get blocked, though, that's the only bummer, is that you have to refollow again, because when you get blocked, it pops you off. Any kind of follow list.
Yeah. Yeah, and to resubscribe back on, because it's basically a clean slate for you.
Yes.
Salut, Melissa. I think I'm an indigent. The title from a UHF movie, right? Supplies.
Is that?
We had no recollection or intent that it was going to be UHF reference. We were just thinking she's Asian, when a lot of Asian people who have FOB accents, they supplement the R's as L's and L's as R's.
They say supplies.
So instead of surprise, it's supplies.
Supplies.
You get it? Okay. What's up?
Hello, people. What was the address?
8675309.
The address is, if you go to periscope.tv/Go Rice Girl.
Okay.
Summer has just started. I think the first day of summer is the 21st.
Solstice is the 21st, which is last week.
Yeah, so our summer, the past 4 days of summer have been awesome.
Yeah, the temperature's been great.
Yeah, not too hot.
Is there an ad to fold my clothes? Yes, there is. It's about $2,500.
What's up, Chris? No, Cassie. It's at Go Rice Girl. That's all it is. So you just go. Oh, are you talking about Facebook? Or are you talking about... Oh my god, I'm losing it here. Cassie, you have to spell it out.
Done.
Ya boy!
What's up, Jamie?
Ya boy!
That sound like done. Oh, you can't view people's profiles on this one, only on the app.
Right.
Got it. Rent It. You guys will crack up. I know, it's the Weird Al Yankovic show from back in the 80s.
What?
The UHF?
Oh, really?
It was Weird Al Yankovic's movie.
It was 100? Wow, that's super hot.
I was playing Call of Duty the other day, and this kid was on, or this guy was playing with me as on my team. You could hear him like just going, ugh. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, it's so hot here. I'm like, where's here? He said, it's Vegas. And I said, what temperature is it? He's like, 113.
Wow. That's really, really warm.
And he was dying. Hey, Jamie, I'm fabulous.
Fabulous.
I'm alive. You're apparently alive. It's a great start of life.
Yes.
You won the lottery.
Thank you, Chris.
You're lucky to have awesome weather this past weekend. I can only imagine, especially with the fog and everything going on over there. With all that radiating heat from the volcano, I mean, that's quite spectacular, actually.
So let's continue this discussion on Facebook jail, you guys. So I was on my own account prior to Kama coming to visit me, and we were talking about how I got thrown in Facebook jail for 30 days for something that I did years ago. And they did a retroactive
Sweep.
And said that my comment of Happy Cinco de Mayo from the Crazy Asian was a violation of terms of service for hate language.
God, that's so benign.
Or no, I should say community guidelines for hate language.
I remember when she told me this the day of, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding
I couldn't believe my eyes. And the thing is that I still got like 6 more years of stuff that they can get me for.
Well, especially with like how retroactive that thing is, because then what's the statute of limitations for Facebook since the day they opened?
I have no idea. Well, let's ask Scott Baio, shall we? Scott Baio has played up on the statute of limitations.
Well, that's LA County with sexual harassment.
Oh. Is that all the same?
They give you your reasons when you get banned.
When you log in, Missy, they'll say that you have been banned for 30 days because you have violated, and then they show you the picture if you post a picture, which one time I got thrown in Facebook jail for posting a picture of my friend wearing a dress.
That's happened to me recently when I was put in Facebook jail. I posted a picture of a scantily clad woman on a friend's page, a pinup picture, if you will, and somebody found it inappropriate and reported it. So when I logged back into Facebook, it presented a picture, and it says, do you want to take this down, or do you want to retract this? Because you're in Facebook jail. I'm like, well, if I'm already in Facebook jail, does it matter? So I was like, no, I'm not retracting it, because I'm going to be in Facebook jail anyways. So, whatever. And let it fly. So they're like, okay, fine. Jail for 30 days.
So then can you get tried for that again? Because it's double jeopardy in a sense?
Well, I'm sure they removed it.
Oh, they removed it?
Yeah, they probably removed it.
Well, I had a picture of my friend wearing a dress, and she was fully clothed, and the filters picked it up as nudity. Even though she had all her clothes on, all her underwear on, all her everything, nothing was showing. And I got put in jail for 30 days.
That's ridiculous.
It makes no
never
sense.
mind. I'll shut up. Oh, sorry, Jamie. Yeah, if you'd like, then sure. If you can put the phone call on Periscope. 30 days in the slammer, that's a long time. It is a long time. It sounds kind of painful after the first 2 weeks. You're just like, when is it ever going to end?
Yeah. And I was telling everybody also that because when they do this, they lose revenue. Because one, I won't be able to buy Facebook ads. And number two, I
the intended audience.
Exactly. And I won't be able to purchase
whatever they're trying to sell you.
Yes. So it makes no sense. Because they want you to be social so that they can present
also,
stuff
too, they're under such an enormous amount of pressure from government and watchdog groups, especially after this analytical data mining that they got accused of when the Soviet, or during the election campaign about harvesting people's data recently. So now they're probably going to be putting more stress on their algorithms to pull out people, especially with, like, Twitter being put under the guise or putting under the pressure of the whole hate speech and allowing hate speech to go running rampant on Twitter, and Twitter then going back through and saying, no, this is inappropriate, this is our app, we're going to
Do whatever we want.
do whatever we want and clean it up. Because, especially, how many of you people out there, I know you guys haven't getting this, this is the GDRP
Yes.
terms of service update that everyone's got it. And any service you have ever signed up for and you've ever shared your email address with, you received an email from someone that said this is in regards to the GDRP terms of service. Same thing here with Facebook when she got hit up with the 2-year-old Cinco de Mayo comments. Because any service you've ever shared your email with, they're now retroactively going through their email list and saying, hey, we need to send Genuine David or send Melissa or send Jamie this email that says, we're updating our GDRP terms of service. Same pressure that Facebook is under. Same set of circumstances that everyone's being put under. If you don't know what GDRP is, I don't remember the exact acronym, but GDRP is basically in response to people having control of their given data consent in the European Union. Europe is ready to smack down companies. If anybody on the internet is collecting data and is not being upfront and sharing their data, they have to update their terms of service, which is now the term their GDRP. And if they don't send it out and have a trail saying, we sent Joanne an update of our terms of service, you can't hit us, the European Union will go through and smack down every company that's out there that has a presence on the internet. So the same thing happens with similar approach to trolling old posts that have Cinco de Mayo. They're going to go back and find those things and bring it back to your attention.
But there should be a certain day when it starts. You know what I mean?
That's the thing with the GDRP. They're going back to the beginning of whenever a company existed and collected your email. So there is no statute of limitations.
I should post a picture of me in a bikini on Facebook to see if they suspend me for grossness.
You should. See what happens. If we never hear from you, then we know what happened.
You've been put in Facebook
I don't want to see this picture jail.
People, patience, says James. I doubt I would even know I was in Facebook jail. I wouldn't so infrequently.
You'll know if you have any apps or subscriptions that utilize your Facebook entry, and how some sites say you want to log in with Google or log in with Facebook. If you have ever logged in with Facebook and you use those apps, and if you've never opened Facebook and you got put in jail, guess what will happen? That service is no longer available to you.
So the question is, what can you do and not do when in Facebook jail?
You cannot post, you can still view, you can still read, you can still, navigate, but you cannot post, you cannot engage, you cannot interact, you cannot share, you cannot comment.
You can't like anything. You can't join groups.
Yeah, you can't join. You can't do anything.
You can't share data. You can use Messenger though. Still.
No,
wait a minute. No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't use Instant Messenger or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, that's out. Everything that has anything to do with outgoing information from you into Facebook is suspended. Messenger does not work, Felix.
So, Chinky Mahoy.
Yeah, you were talking about the different name that I was sharing with you.
Yes.
That name, Chinky.
Explain to everybody what that is.
So she was saying on her scope earlier about she had the phrase Happy Cinco de Mayo, Chink, C-H-I-N-K, Cinco, then everybody else with the phrase chink should have retroactively been put in jail. And she was like, well, Colin told her a friend whose name was Chink, and I said, no, his name is Chinky. I swear to God, if you can Google it, Chinky Mahoy, C-H-I-N-K-Y, Chinky Mahoy, M-A-H-O-E. Google that name, and you'll see that's a real person. Then that if she's getting nailed for Cinco de Mayo, then Chinky should be banned from Facebook just by his name alone.
Name.
That's his name. It's on his ID. It's his name.
It's on his ID, his birth certificate.
I forget what his real first name is, but his middle name has been adopted as Chinky.
Chinky.
Chinky Mahoy.
Maybe I should rename myself.
You should name yourself Chinky.
Chinky Fam.
Chinky Fam.
Chinky Fam.
Chinky the Fam.
Can you even imagine that?
So that guy must be in permanent jail. Go on Facebook and see if you can find him. I'll do it right now. Watch.
Chinky Mahoy.
Let's see if Chinky's around.
Chinky's right here.
Oh, Chinky, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my Mahoy.
And, I had a friend in high school.
Uh-huh.
She was Chinese. She was half Chinese. And she was really, really super skinny. I think I told you this joke. But we used to have a joke that says, what do you call a big fat Chinese person? A chunk. Get it? It's opposite. Okay. Anyway, so instead of a chunk, because my friend Suzanne, who was so skinny as a Chinese person, we called her a slice.
Got it.
Get it? I'm Mexican. I'm not offended. So in jail
Oh, he's in here.
He is?
Yeah, he's got a Facebook page.
So I could report him and say that he is...
violating terms of service. There's his name, Chinky Mahoy.
I think you need to go back a tiny bit there.
There's his name. Facebook page and everything, Chinky Mahoy. He's a very famous hula instructor in Hawaii. Missy knows him. He's actually in the same area where Missy lives. Yeah. He should be permanently banned.
Start your own platform. Facebook shared personal info, even photo info with third parties. My family. Benny Hill says that word is very racist.
Chinky?
Or a double chin.
Chinky.
Ever thought their children's photos were going to be available to anyone?
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
I guess part of me is kind of like the common sense of like you just supplied somebody with your information, a complete stranger with a photo of your kid. What do you think is going to happen? And did you not read their terms of service when you first signed up with the service, saying any and all media that gets put into their services will be at the discretion of the company? It says it in the terms of service when it's signed up. And everyone's suddenly going, oh my God, I can't believe they're sharing my data. It was in their terms of service.
Yeah, but you don't think that they're actually going to do it. You want to think the best of companies, that they're not going to use. Why would they use your... You're not a Kardashian.
Nope.
You're not a Kardashian.
Nope.
Right?
If you go to a bank and you say, I'm giving you my $1 million, do you think that $1 million is actually in that bank? No. They're actually loaning the money out there. Every other Tom, Dick, and Harry is coming in asking for a loan. So your money that you put in there is not actually there anymore. It's gone. So for you to come back, okay, I want my $1 million back. You're never going to get it.
Let's go back to MySpace.
MySpace is the same thing. Their terms of service is the same thing. When you surrender media and put it on their site, it is now subject to the terms and services of MySpace. Friendster, same story, same terms of service.
Hello, Carly.
What's up, Carly?
What's up? Maybe next Cinco de Mayo, I might do that to put Cinco de Mayo.
You should do it, dude.
Vince, I warned you. If you get put in jail... Well, see, since you've never committed a crime on Facebook, they'll probably only put you in Facebook jail for a day. But I'm a repeat offender, and I don't these bugs are flying all over.
It's not on their Facebook page. No, I'm not saying it's on a Facebook page. I'm saying it's in their terms of service, which is a link that you click on as a responsible adult. You should either read it or download it and print it. And the parents, you're saying, not a stranger, it's on the Facebook page. No parents read that, and then they act like they never knew. Right there in their statement, no parents read that. Whose accountability is that? If they provide the information, but no parents read that, whose accountability
Well,
is that?
that's why the Senate or Congress, when Zuckerberg went there, he said, you need to rewrite it so that normal people can read the terms of service.
Then Congress needs to enact that and enforce that on every service in the United States. That would be AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner.
They did that on purpose.
Spectrum. That's what whether or not they make it on purpose. I agree with you. But if they're going to enforce Facebook to do that, they need to do that with everybody.
Well,
Everybody needs to do that.
yeah. They monitor everything on Facebook anyway.
Well, yeah, of course.
I was in Facebook jail for 30 days and my hands were tied. Really, Vince? What did you do?
How did you get around if your hands were tied? How did you wipe your booty?
With his feet.
With your feet. Ah, got it.
If you deposit $1 million, they loan out much more than $1 million, says Euro.
It's an example. My point being, you're not going to get your money back after you just sent it in.
That's why Europe has privacy laws. We're not all law students.
There's no law required. When you sign up with something, there's a link that says terms of service.
Yeah, but nobody
There's
reads
no
that.
law degree that says you must by law click on this.
Facebook used to attack Trump supporters too.
Used to.
I think everybody attacks Trump supporters, don't they?
Yeah, that's like a requirement now.
I was reading something that kind of scared me. Which have you read the thing about Maxine Waters? How she was encouraging people to harass Trump supporters. I want to make sure I get this right. Trump supporters and his staff. Yeah. So that when Sarah Huckabee Sanders was,
Got asked to leave that restaurant.
yeah, so that was part of that.
Yeah. Well, it was a harassment.
Yes, she says harass them.
Wait, wait.
What?
How was Huckabee harassed though? She was asked to leave, which every establishment has the right to refuse service.
Right.
So how was she
No,
harassed?
she left. She left
Okay, then how was she harassed?
because they asked her to leave for whatever reason.
But how was she harassed?
Because they went up to her and asked her to go away.
And then that is in the right of the establishment to refuse service.
But she didn't do anything. She just walked in.
But is there harassment?
I don't know.
I'm only asking the question to be really concise and to the degree of granularity so that people don't get on the bandwagon blindly and start getting all uppity about something.
So David says, I saw where a candidate running against her called for her to be arrested.
That's slander. Or libel. Slander, right?
One of the two. No one understands the U.S. tax laws except very informed accountants. Same as TOS. No one but specialists. And nobody reads it. Come on, who has time to read this stuff?
That's not accurate, Renner.
How many times have you read the terms of service?
I try to read my own terms of service when I sign up for a service. Especially a big entity. Like, I remember reading the terms of service for Friendster. Because Friendster was such a new endeavor at the time where it was accumulating all these people signing up. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of strange. They're going to ask people for all their information and then sign up and put pictures on there. And actually, I was at Warner Brothers when I signed up for Friendster, and I actually took the time to read you have it in sections.
Yeah.
And it's titled that says, media, pictures. I forget what the comment section was called. But they actually divided the sections up. And so you can read what it says. Like, oh, okay, this is what the media does. And they basically said something to the effect that whatever media you upload to the servers where Friendster is holding and aggregating information is subject to not the admins, but I forget what the wordage was, but is basically subject to the people who run Friendster. Was cool in showing the degrees of relationship it was, but it was still subject to the terms of service, and it did disclose that at the time. MySpace was no different because MySpace was not that far behind Friendster. I think maybe by a few years, maybe a year. Even their terms of service was kind of vague at best, but they still had something that mentioned whatever surrounding information to MySpace.
You're racist.
Totally. We know how to
I'm
recognize.
a racist.
She's a racist. I'm an equal opportunity racist. But the reality is I'm not like everybody else. I do think of these things, and I do try to look in my own information. Depends why they asked to leave. And in some places, it is illegal to reviews. I agree with you, Renner. I think it is illegal in some places. But, however, for the most part, yes. Depends on why they asked her to leave. If they said they didn't like her or they didn't care for her, was it handled aggressively? Was it?
Well, it's kind of the same thing. She walked in, she's just going to eat, and they're like, no, you can't be in here because you work for Trump. That's what happened. She wasn't like, yo, sup? Trump lady.
I'm Trump lady.
Or whatever. She didn't say that. Why didn't she go eat her meatloaf? And they're like, girl, you gotta go.
But see, that's why I'm playing devil's advocate.
They did comp her meal, though.
Then there's that harassment. That's what I'm saying. I'm playing devil's advocate because that door swings both ways. It swings both ways.
So somebody was saying on Twitter, is like, okay, so how is this okay if, you know how they had the baker that said, I'm not going to bake a cake for your gay wedding.
Gay wedding, yeah.
So this is not cool, but this is. I mean, how can you do this?
Well, again, if I'm gonna go to a bakery and I want you to bake a cake with 2 penises, and then the bakery's like, what? No, I'm not doing that. Then what level do I like? Yo, you're now discounting me as a man who loves 2 penises. Why can't you do this?
Well, maybe they don't do peanut cake.
Then they don't do peanut cake.
Well, that's
should I get upset at them for not doing that?
No, but I mean, there's certain things that you don't want to bake, or it's against their moral fabric.
Okay, I can go with that.
Right.
But the same thing with the wedding cake, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to put genitalia on a cake. That's the issue.
Right.
I refuse to do this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do
extreme.
this.
That is an extreme example.
But if poor little Sarah is going to get her meatloaf in Virginia, and they come up to her and go, look, yo, you got to go because you work for the wrong person. That's not right. You should be able to work for whoever you want. She's on her own time. It's not...
I agree with you. I mean, then the same mentality, that should be held to the same level that Twitter did.
What?
because Twitter then started trolling their own accounts and purging, extremists who had, quote unquote, under the Second Amendment, free speech, and started purging people's accounts of hate speech. So, what level of degree is that okay?
It's not. Well, it depends. Well, they have to they have to define exactly what is hate speech.
Okay, so let's say I'm a white supremacist, and I'm just like, I
just got thrown into Facebook jail for saying Chinky Malone or Chinky
de Mayo.
Chico de Mayo.
Should they force a black baker to make a KKK cake? Legally, it's not the same for a wedding cake. Meatloaf, I'll kick my own self out. Mama.
Okay, so that's a good question. Should they? Okay, so what if you didn't know that it was a KKK person? No, they're not making a hood cake. I'm just saying they just made a cake and they're serving it at the KKK awards or whatever they have. I don't know what they do.
Hold on, real quick. Give me a grand. I'll cook. I'll give you the questions.
Thanks, Alan.
I'll remember you, Alan. Thank you. That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, what if they didn't know?
But yeah, so if they didn't know,
it's ignorance bliss. Okay, so they say,
yeah,
okay, Mr. KKK comes in. I need a cake that says Happy KKK Awards 2018. Can he say, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't agree with what you do. I don't agree with your organization. I'm not going to do it.
Right. So then does a KKK go, but you harassed me?
No, they didn't harass you. They just refused service.
But then what's the difference between the lady refusing her to serve her meatloaf? That's the thing. That's the fabric that people who are quick to react, not you, I'm not using you as an example, I'm using public, that people who are quick to react and jump on a bandwagon and start screaming bloody murder.
These comments are hilarious.
Great.
What if a KKK
cake with a black penis and a white penis? Then that should go to the KKK Awards for sure. It needs to have little caps on it. Triple K Awards, Triple KKK. Do y'all mess with crypto? Every once in a while. So that's the point that I'm saying, is that the granularity, there is a lot of meat in the granularity and truth, because the thing is, people will oftentimes misconstrue related stories, whether it be through Huffington Post or whatever media outlet you choose to read. There has to be some level of truth and insight, instead of people reacting to a feeling of a story. Because people might say, well, how come he deserves the world because they refuse the service? Like, well, what is the real sentiment of what actually happened? What is the real action that happened? People times are reactive, and that reaction is what spreads the fervor of misinformation.
Okay, what if she wore a disguise? Can she go eat her meatloaf?
Let's say she still wore a disguise. Let's say she came in with a red hooded sweatshirt. And the server goes, sorry, I don't like to serve people with red hooded sweatshirts. You need to leave. Is she now going to be, oh my God, you hate people with red hooded sweatshirts?
Well, I wouldn't.
She harassed her.
I wouldn't go to that establishment anymore, because obviously they don't want me there. If they don't want my money, fine.
But somehow this became a news story.
The bakery didn't refuse to sell cake from a bakery, but refused to create a custom wedding cake.
Okay, so then guess what you do?
That's like the penis cake.
You go to another cake bakery.
Right, but this cake bakery is the best.
Who cares? They're refusing service.
They could buy a generic cake and put their own.
So if I wanted to go to, let's say I want to go to Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to make a whole decoration because my mom is marrying her best friend. Hobby Lobby, if you guys don't know, is a very Christian establishment. So if I went into that establishment looking for all these different ornamentations to make all this decorations for a gay wedding, and I can't find what I need, but I go to the manager and I'm like, hey, Bob, I can't find XYZ for this arrangement. Oh, yeah, so who's getting married? My mom is marrying her best friend. So is it okay then for that manager to go, yo, sorry, I can't help you. You need to leave. What do you think?
No.
So it's not okay for him to say that.
I just think that people need to just butt out. You know what I mean? It's like if they had a hood on, they didn't see anything, and they wanted to buy whatever pizzas for this wedding that they didn't believe in.
But should I just, suck it up and just walk out?
Just go, yeah, I'm going to give my money
someplace else
to somebody that wants my business.
Okay. I think that's what I would tell the person.
It is unethical to pick and choose who eats in your restaurant due to their political party status.
It's unethical, yes. But is it unlawful? I'm not disagreeing on the ethics. I'm not
Yeah, I
disagreeing
just
on the
think it's wrong.
morality.
It's like, if I'm like, just because I have a job for somebody who maybe she might even hate, maybe she hates the dude, you never know.
Could be.
But she's got to pay the bills, right? She's
Yeah.
got to pay the money. And she wants to go get her meatloaf, and they're like, no, yo, you got to go just because you're affiliated with that guy, even though she might hate him.
Bakers refuse to use their artistic talent to create custom cakes, so they don't want to go to overdramatic. So here's another example. So real world example. My company, we had at the end of our season, a bunch of us went to go to a restaurant, and there must have been like 20 of us all total that was going to gather at this restaurant for drinks, right? So we all
Say what Euro says is 100% unlawful.
Is that for certain that it's 100% unlawful? This is, again, granularity. You say it's 100% unlawful. Is it for certain 100% unlawful?
It's not unlawful, even if I disagree with it.
See? So, real world situation. At this restaurant, there were going to be about 20 of us at this restaurant. We slowly migrated into the restaurant, so we were starting to show up more and more and more. As we first got there, we had a small table. Then we got more people, and they gave us a bigger table, right? Mm-hmm. So as we got all of us there, the waiter was almost on the verge of kicking us out.
Why?
Exactly. So he was on the verge of kicking us out, and then he ended up getting another server to serve us because he didn't want to wait on us.
Why?
I don't know. So at the end of the
were you being unruly?
At the end of the night, when we were paying up all our check, we had a massive bill, huge bill, right? Because there's 20 of us now all drinking. So I ended up asking the server, why didn't he want to serve us? And the woman said it was because it was getting too much for him to deal with, and he didn't want to deal with it. And I said, so he was willing to get rid of us and throw money down the drain for himself, mm-hmm. for the other people that are working there, and for his boss.
Right.
So he's willing to do that. So whether or not it's lawful or unlawful for someone to refuse me service, the stupidity was reigning supreme with somebody because he was making a decision based on reaction, not on lawful, not on ethics, and not on morality. They just didn't believe in working on serving us.
Because they didn't want to work.
They didn't want to work.
So maybe you should have asked the manager or the owner of the establishment.
But guess what I did? I left because I was like, I'm never coming here again.
He was being rude. But see, the thing is, why are you punishing the establishment who had no say in the matter? It was the decision of some person that made $6 an hour.
Because my experience out of that left such a taste that I no longer want to go back. Whether or not that person was still there. It was enough. This is the thing with any establishment with marketing, especially if you're in marketing. Any chance that you have to screw somebody up or screw an opportunity, they may never come back.
Right.
This is it right here. I'm not going back. And in the future, from that time forward, a lot of other employees at my company would go back to this bar and invite me. Like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to go back. Because I had a bad experience. And she's right. I shouldn't let that one person speak volumes for the people. So,
yeah, and what's really, really even worse is that person may not even work there anymore, and you are never going to go back there because of that one bad experience.
Samantha, what if you had anxiety of writing on a table? So that's an issue for him. That's not my issue. He's working in an industry of a service industry. So if he has anxiety, then he has a bigger issue than waiting on a table of 20 people. There's more people that were sitting around us that he was more than happy to serve. So, and it was very crowded. It was very loud. So the anxiety level, I don't buy. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying if that is an excuse, I don't buy.
What if he was worried that he wasn't going to get compensated for all the work that he was doing?
Then that's his lack mentality.
Well, maybe it has happened to him in the past. Maybe that he's had big groups of people that stiff him.
Wow, then maybe he should change his mindset and really pour it on to make sure and ensure. What does tipping stand for? To ensure proper service. If you put out massive amounts of positivity, to what is the phrase you were telling me? To overproduce and undersell, or what was it? To
underpromise and overdeliver.
That would ensure you proper service. That would ensure you would tip. Because why? It's not about being fake. It's about being present. It's about doing what's can for your customers, because the customers are what's paying your bill. You're getting a paycheck at the end of the week because why? Customers are coming in.
John says I would let the manager know.
True. That was probably my mistake for not letting the manager know.
Hey, Deborah. Oh my
Good
god.
service.
Deborah has. I haven't seen Deborah in years.
Wow.
So this is awesome. Hi.
Tipping is a horrible idea.
Well, you know what? I kind of agree in a way because there should be a minimum level of service that's appropriate, that's
Well, yeah,
good.
that you're actually paying for.
Yes. I think that tipping for service that goes beyond
Is tippable.
is,
Is rewardable.
yeah. Protected speech is that which makes us most uncomfortable.
That's unfortunate, man.
What do you mean?
That protected speech is that which makes us most uncomfortable. Got to have a good attitude towards their service.
Mm-hmm.
THEIR. Some restaurants may have mandatory gratuity over certain. Well, yeah, of course. If you have a party over 8 people, they'll throw in gratuity. That's their establishment. But what we're saying is that there really should be an abandonment of a minority. I'm sorry, of a requirement of tips. You shouldn't just go to a car wash and tip them automatically because they're washing your car.
That's part of their job.
That's part of your job.
Right.
Oh my god, I get a car wash for $9. Fabulous. Wow, there's spots all over my car. Wow, the rims are crappy. Should I tip that?
No,
No.
not at all.
Even though I got the job for $9. No, that's what I paid.
Right. Remember Tom Likas?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Tom Likas was you guys who remembers Tom Likas? Type
That
of
guy
One.
was
He was a
amazeballs.
national,
Syndicated talk show host.
yeah, exactly, on the radio. And he used to talk and teach guys
I love that guy.
how to
Interact with women.
I liked him too. I thought he was really funny. But he used to talk about tipping and how tipping is not, it shouldn't be mandatory. Tipping
shouldn't
is
be.
to reward
Good service.
great service.
Yeah.
Great service, because you should automatically get good service.
Because that's part of the job. That's part of what you're going for.
Right. Okay, yeah, so Tom remembers, Vince remembers. But if you wouldn't go back there on your own.
No, I wouldn't go back there on my own. I wouldn't go back there at all.
808, yeah. Shaka. Bet he'd remember you the next time and give you extra.
Nah, I doubt it. Because I understand that when you have an altercation or whatever present time that you have and interact with somebody, the likelihood of you being remembered the next time after time has passed is very unlikely. Someone's going to remember you. Unless you have distinct characteristics that'll make the guy flinch or God knows what. But I'm not worried about the guy remembering coming back and then suddenly changing his mind. The reality is that a person in that state of mind who has a lack mentality oftentimes have a hard time crawling out of that hole to make such an impact. Will he change the last time that I've seen him? Quite possibly.
Service is excellent in Japan, and there's no tipping. Tipping in the United States is a system of abuse.
I wish we lived in Japan.
Or you wish the Japanese...
Lived here?
No.
Mandatory tipping removes the incentive to provide good service. That's my grandmother. She had that same mentality. Mandatory tipping removes the incentive to provide good service. My Howley from San Diego. All right. My grandmother was awesome. I love my grandmother. She was one of those powerful women growing up, and she always had like a voice in my head when it came to that kind of stuff. And she was like, no, I'll never tip. Unless they actually she would go on to extreme examples and say, unless they ran outside and started washing and waxing my car, then I'll tip them. And I'm like, damn, Grandma, you're kind of harsh. She's like, why would I? They're the ones doing the job that I'm paying for. I should never have to do that. It's never mandatory. I shouldn't incentivize somebody to do their job in the first place.
Right. That makes sense.
And I'm like, God, I love you, Grandma.
But see, there's something, the people that have the lower paying jobs or jobs where they get tips, they get they compensated because the job says, okay, well, you're going to get tips, so that's why you're going to get a low wage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then they get upset when they don't get the tip because they were
expecting it.
They were kind of bribed to take the low wage
for the tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like waitressing. What is the solution for the terms of service issues of the largest media corp? I don't know. Read the terms of service.
Tipping is not correlated with good service.
You do a crappy job, it will be reflected in your tip if you even get one. Yeah, I part of the reason that's why I don't like working in the retail industry anymore, whether behind the counter or on the floor. I just got tired of it. Not because I expect tips. Like, I don't think I worked in any jobs that require tips. I just don't like having to be in that situation of the awkwardness of being tipped for any reason. And I don't like being put out there. I'd rather just be rewarded on the sheer hard work and not have tipping coming into it.
Servers who had their pay increased to $15 an hour had their wages go down versus low wage plus tips. I tend to tip bartenders way too much, and the service is not all that great either.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, what's up with that?
I have different experiences with that. And here's I don't care if any of you disagree, I have my experience to back me up. Most bars, if I tend to spend a considerable amount of time at that bar, if I know ahead of time, I will go out of my way and tip the bartender heavy, and then get to know the guy and talk to the guy. I guarantee every time, every bar I've ever done that to, they're on me like Johnny on the spot. They will put me ahead in front of hot chicks and get my drinks. It's a crappy system.
And they give you more alcohol.
Yes. They will heavy pour me. It's happened every time I've gone to a bar and done that. And I will continue to do that. Why is it not racist in the title?
Why is not racist in the title? Because we were saying that we're not racists. I'm a racist.
She's a racist.
I'm a go rice girl.
I'm a spamist.
You're a spamist?
I'm a spamist. Yeah. Peakist spamist.
I agree about tipping bartenders. I could never speak for someone. Everything isn't black and white. There's always a gray area.
There is if you subscribe to it.
Fudge a tip. Why aren't people pissed about income tax? Should not be a thing.
Then how do your roads get paid?
Well, they have to have a tax. Well, she's thinking about an income tax.
Income tax.
Well, if they didn't have an income tax, they would have some kind of other tax to tax you.
Well, here's my fascination about that comment. They shouldn't have income tax. But here in Denmark, maybe Euro can even shed some light on this. In Denmark, 60% of their income is garnished or is taxed. It's a socialist economy, but everything is free.
What do you mean everything is free?
Everything, education, health, public services, everything is. And I know this for a fact. I have Danish friends. Everything's paid.
So it's like a cruise,
basically.
Right? They're going on a cruise. They pay up front.
Everything's paid. They can go into like the King of Denmark versus the guy that's off this, a white collar person can go and have the same hospital treatment. But here we have a person who's concerned. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying this outright. The comedy is that people here in the States are like, I shouldn't be paying income tax. But the federal healthcare system sucks. Federal income tax didn't exist before the early 20th century. It stated in the Constitution, man's wages should not be taxed. Okay.
Hi, Olivia.
Wow, Olivia, hi.
How you doing? Miss you
long
so
time
much.
no see. Where in the Constitution is that stated, Dan? Dan? I'm not disagreeing with you. Just enlighten us.
Enlighten him. I don't care.
I do. I'll have to be well informed if I'm going to go on the bat and something.
Olivia moved. She's not in Kailua anymore.
What? Where'd you move to?
She moved to Diamond Head. She moved to a dirty apartment.
Yes, our costs in Europe are actually less.
Interesting. Somebody's got to figure this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? They got to figure out how we can pay less but get more. But somebody's got to pay for it. That's the problem.
That's the thing you got to really boil it down to its basic. Hey, what's up, Joey? To its basic.
Joey, Olivia's here. What are you reading?
Oh, the whole a man's wages should not be taxed.
That's correct about the Constitution, but there was an amendment that went into force around 1913.
Oh, look at that. So 10. This is why I tend to be granular about stuff. There's details. There's so much truth and proof in details. This is why I love granularity. Hypocrisy. What the hell is hypocrisy about?
So, Olivia, tell us about your dirty apartment that is now clean. I heard she was...
what the hell?
She moved to an apartment. It was really dirty, nasty, and she had her allergies flared up in a big way because she was in this place. But why'd you move?
Yeah, why are you on the windward side? Well, you're still on the windward side, but yeah, fill us in. Government corruption is the issue in USA because of corrupt takeover politicians. What about Russia? Is it not corrupt there? Is it not corrupt in Britain? Is
Isn't
it
it
not
corrupt
corrupt
here in
in
LA?
Greece? Is it not corrupt in Japan?
Mexico?
Mexico? Guatemala? Peru?
United States?
Canada? I'm poking holes in your theory because there's corruption everywhere. And if there's a constant, then what do you do about it?
She was too far from town. That's why she moved to Diamond Head.
You guys should have a call-in show. Nah.
Euro would be on here like 24/7. Hi, everybody.
You're in the leeward. Oh, okay, you're in the leewards. Okay, I get it. Yeah, driving from Kailua down there is murder. Some countries have more corruption than others. Right, but the thing is, corruption is a constant. Whatever the degrees and varying aspects of corruption, yeah, it varies from country to country. But what I'm saying is that corruption is a constant. Me two double take all the way.
Do you think it's like a certain country like Switzerland or Costa Rica have less corruption? Like everybody's just like, come on, let's just all get along. Let's just make it a great place to live. Let's just.
I don't think any organized government will ever exist without corruption. I don't think ever. The degree of corruption influence is not the same in different countries.
Of corporate influence.
I thought Olivia lived in LA. Nah, she moved to Hawaii like 100,000
years
years ago.
It's been like a year.
Yeah. For Home Slice. And her work. And Don King. And Don Ho.
And the bunny. She has a bunny.
Is that bunny?
Yes.
What?
Yes. The bunny was on Past the Cast.
And was it like...
Yes. Yes. With power comes corruption. Yes, there are stats available on level of corruption. So like you get the 1 out of 10, you're like a 9.
Yeah. So you're talking about the gray area now. See, not everything is black. It is black and white. You choose to stay in the gray area.
What do you mean?
People want to say, he's saying that not everything is black and white, that there's gray area. And I'm saying, yeah, there is a black and white. You have to choose. You always have to make a choice. If you tend to stay in the gray area, how's your life? I don't know if I want to do this or not. Hem and haw for most of your life. You have to choose. And and you're always having a choice. If you choose to stay in the gray area, then you stay in the gray area. But my opinion is, yeah, things can be black and white. If you're in a country that's corrupt and you know it's corrupt, you've chosen to be in a white. But if you're hemming and hawing while staying there and dealing with corruption, but you want to go someplace else, yeah, you're in the gray. I get it. But the thing is, you have to decide to stay, that's the black, or go someplace else, that's the white, or the black, whatever. But you're making a choice. It is black and white. It's binary. And then your computer went bye-bye.
You must choose. She has a dog bunny.
A dog bunny?
It's a dunny.
Like a chug?
Or a bog. It's not meaningless. You just have to look closely at times, says Sean. I like the color areas.
Color. I like to choose yellow.
Yellow.
Especially if I'm in Japan.
Yellow.
Yellow.
How did we get on this topic?
I don't know. Maybe it's my ranting and...
Well, we went from...
carrying on.
Tipping.
To black and white.
To corruption. To poor Sarah Huckabee Sanders can't eat her meatloaf and she got it comped.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like checked out on that because I think it's a non-issue.
I just think it's not right. I would just hate to like be, if I were just to be traveling and I went to go to a diner and I just wanted like a chicken pot pie and they're like, no, you can't because you're Spam's friend. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? I'm hungry. I have money. My money is just as good as anything. Just because I'm affiliated with somebody, you're discriminating against me. That's not right. It's not fair. It's not nice.
That's what they'll say.
And I don't want to be part of your country or your people.
And that's my black and white decision.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think it's wrong. And I think that it's wrong for Maxine Waters to say, go harass those people because she... What?
Do you think at the beginning of our broadcasts, we need to have a disclaimer that says, the opinion shared on Rice and Spam does not reflect the broadcast of Periscope Company?
No.
It reflects only the broadcast opinion.
It's obvious.
I just want to make sure because...
I mean, I don't speak for Kayvon.
Well, I want to make sure because like you open the app up, it says app, created by immigrant people, or what was it?
Proudly
Made
created
by
by
immigrants.
immigrants in the United States, or something like that.
Sarah Huckabee is one crazy lady and she needs to resign. Why? Why do you think she needs to resign?
No, it's a given. Howdy. Hi, Southern Outlaws. I don't know. I think that anybody that discriminates against somebody because of somebody that they know, somebody that they work with, somebody that they have a different opinion, I think that's wrong. We're all entitled to our opinion.
But see, it requires higher thinking. That's a huge distinction between the two. It requires, thought, presence, and higher thinking. Here's a question though too, in the same manner that I, don't want to go back to that restaurant. What did the boss say? What did her manager
ding
say?
ding 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 ding.
Exactly. Because there's a big issue right there. The waitress or the server could have said, "No, sorry, you're out. I don't want to serve you. Peace. I'll pay for your meal, but bye."
I think it was the owner.
So it was the owner that did it?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's why I'm asking the question. Clarity, again. Granular, detail.
But I just think it's weird. It's like, I won't go there because I wouldn't want... It's racism almost. It's like...
No, that's not
okay,
racism. I'll be very quick on that.
Well, racism is a form of discrimination.
In this popular context,
Yeah.
This is not racism.
What?
This guy needs to go. So, let's try that one again.
Okay. It feels like racism to me.
Okay.
It's because you have something that you can't control and they are discriminating against you for it.
Wait, then how is that racism?
Well, I'm just saying that's what it feels like.
It feels like racism.
Yeah.
Okay, the effect of racism.
Yes.
Got it. They're discriminating against you because of whatever thing you're a part of, believe, or say that you're being discriminated against.
Yes.
Understood.
Yes.
What ism is that?
What do you mean?
Racism.
Now I'm craving meatloaf.
An owner
Sounds
can
good,
choose
right?
to
With
refuse
ketchup on top.
service, but an employee can't. Right. That's what we're making the distinction, Paula.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could say like you can't do this or whatever you think, you're just a bad person. You know what I'm saying? You can have an opinion and you can do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting somebody, or maybe they feel that she's hurting them. I don't know. I'm trying to understand this, even though it has nothing to do with you directly. Ooh, meatloaf.
Meatloaf sounds good.
It's like individualism. I just don't know. I don't like how somebody is saying harass that person because they are associated with that person.
Here, how's this? Can business owners really refuse service to anyone? Under federal anti-discrimination laws, businesses can refuse service to any person for any reason unless the business is discriminating against a protected class. At the national level, protected classes include race or color, so it's not racism, national origin or citizenship status, religion or creed, sex, age, disability, pregnancy, or genetic information, or veteran status. Did that owner cross the line with any one of those things listed? No. So is it?
It's even worse.
Is it in the establishment's right to refuse service?
She can do whatever she wants, but it's just, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's nice.
Some states, like California, have more protected classes than the federal baseline. And in addition to the above factors, California adds marital status, sexual orientation, medical condition, military, political affiliations or activities, status as a victim of domestic violence, assault, or stalking. So political affiliation, where did this refusal of service happen?
It was like Virginia or something like that.
Okay, let's say Virginia. Then it's up to Virginia state standards to qualify that protected class. Because then if she's a politician, she could just make beep, boop, boop. Yeah, let's go after this restaurant for violating my protected class because of my political affiliation with Trump. Shkoosh, massive fine. Why didn't that happen?
You should have.
People are just addicted to
But
being
I think
outraged.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders is just like, F you. I'm out.
Probably.
Yeah, she doesn't care less. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's just, I don't agree with how they did that. That's not nice.
It's not nice.
Yeah. It's the not nice law.
What if a business owner refused service to Elizabeth Warren? The left would have went crazy. Who cares if the left or right had gone crazy? We're talking about, is it within the laws of the establishment? Who cares of the result? Who cares of
Well,
the
they're
reaction?
just saying that if one did it, if one's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So if they had done it the other way, they would have went nuts. So that's what he's saying.
I understand that, but that's why I'm making the distinction again. Who cares of the reaction? Was the establishment within the lawful rights? Was she being discriminated against to protect a class of an affiliate of the political party?
Yes, she was discriminated.
Is that part of Virginia's, if this is Virginia, is this part of the state law? Also, people with disabilities are protected. Not racism, but it is political suppression being based on political ideology is virtual signaling. Well, that is a very mouthful comment. Not entirely the choice of the owner if he wants to, but if he is discriminating it. It isn't right when it happens to you, but when it happens to someone else, that's a good distinction.
Yeah, well, I'm upset because it happened to somebody else. Because I can see it happening to me and being like, what the
did
hell?
happen to you?
Well, yeah.
let's not forget Applebee's. Hashtag not forget.
But you know what? I want to protect the people that it's not nice.
It's not nice.
I'm going to go back to that. It's not nice rule.
I want people to understand, though that I'm putting up such a devil's advocate speech, I'm still on the fence. I'm still in agreement with her. That is still straight up not a nice thing to do.
It's not.
I am just one that does the devil's advocate for higher thinking because there's a lot of proof and details and a lot of things that though we hate or do not like, there may be a lot of that. But within the laws, is it within rights?
So John says it's not illegal in Virginia.
So if it took place in Virginia, then it's not illegal.
I'm not sure it was Virginia. I
it
think it was Virginia or somewhere over there.
We are in agreement that this is a crappy thing to have happen to her or to anybody. If anything, the person who did the kicking outing should have had a higher thinking, a higher mentality, a higher thought process of more of an ethical, moral compass view.
Right. Look at her as a person, not as a...
That's what I'm saying.
As a political party. She's a person. She wants food. She has money. Feed the damn lady.
I'm going to get paid. This goes to my paycheck. Sweet.
Right?
I'm...
It can't be arbitrary.
Here it's a choice. If you want to serve someone, if you take it further, then it comes under what?
It has happened in Washington, D.C. The law is on books, and yes, off the guidelines. It comes under one of those guidelines. I don't know.
Sorry,
it still just irritates me. I mean, I remember reading it. I think it was last night. Was it happened last night or the night before?
The night before, maybe.
I'm just like,
beyond.
What?
Yeah, and I think when you told me about it, I was kind of checking out because I was like, why is this making news? Because this.
And then, okay, the thing that really made me mad is that people were tweeting and liking the story saying, I totally support this restaurant for doing that, and I would come all the way out from wherever they were at, like 3,000 miles, to support that restaurant for doing that. What?
Misguided ideology. That's what I'm saying. Higher thinking. There's a thing on my Facebook page that I posted about George Carlin had one of his stand-up acts and talking about. Here, I'll even read it off to you. I loved it. This is actually something to think about. This is not poking fun at anybody. This is just seriously something to think about. And so what it was, let me pull it up here in a second. So the caption, I'm not going to show you the picture. I'll just read it off to you right when it comes up, and I'll be more than happy to share it.
So someone says, honestly, this is business suicide.
It is.
And somebody else said that 8 people in her family.
Whose family?
In Sarah's Huckabee Sanders, yeah. Also, no matter the political distinction, you will be pissing off half your potential clientele.
Potential. Sign saying we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone has zero legal effect. Well, I think we just discerned that it is not legal, or it is within the business legal rights to have that. So it may not be zero legal on the surface, but there is potential repercussion. All right, so here's the post that I put for George Carlin. In the first caption, it says, where do people think these politicians come from? They're elected by American citizens. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, then you're going to have selfish, ignorant leaders. Maybe it's not the politicians that suck. Maybe it's the public that suck. So what he's saying is that, wow, these politicians blow. How do these crappy politicians get into the office in the first place? if we're a democratic society and we're casting our voice democratically,
Well, it's the ignorant people that are electing them, or the people that aren't showing up at the polls, aren't doing their
job
Yeah.
as an American citizen, yes. See, this is the thing. This is the in the weeds, the granularity thing of how this higher thinking works. You got to see beyond the comments. You got to see beyond what's being offered to you. He's saying if there are ignorant people in the office, maybe there's ignorant people voting. But like just exactly what she said, maybe it's not the ignorant people. Maybe it's the people not showing up, or people who are interested in making sure those ignorant people are in the office in the first place.
But then they're complaining. So
Exactly.
people don't complain unless you're going to do something.
Exactly.
But see, the thing is, even though you might be complaining and you go to the polls, if you don't have enough people that are on your side that think the same way as you do, the same like Joe Schmoes are going to end up in
In the office.